Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here. I want to talk about a couple of my mess-ups lately, and I think actually this is the benefit of having a podcast, and this is actually some of the comments that I've gotten from people both in this podcast and also the 30-day practice blueprint. And I don't talk about just what's working well, but I talk about what's not going well. So one thing that I've been trying, I think it's for about the last 6 months, I've been doing these newsletters, and I thought I was kind of being smart by sending it only to the referral doctors. So I had this Google Sheet, and I updated it to different people I wanted to send out the newsletter to. And I was doing it, updating it, sending it, and then all of a sudden my office manager said, hey, we're spending like $800 a month, and what are we seeing from it? And I thought in my marketing mind, I'm like, well, we're not seeing anything, but I think eventually we will. And I'm very good at doing that. I don't know if any of you guys are. I just keep spending money, and then I think, well, eventually it'll work out, and I just keep spending money. And that's why it's good to have checks and balances in the office, because if it's up to me, I'm going to spend money on everything, and we'll just keep doing it. And plus, I kind of like to have a scapegoat, which is my office manager. She's like, oh, we should, I recommend, she doesn't tell me what to do, but she kind of recommends it. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And so what's my takeaway? I enjoyed doing the newsletter. And what the guy from the newsletter company said, Justin, and I do think it's a great idea. I'm just not sure if I did it the right way or I had the correct understanding. So what worked? Well, what worked is it got in the hands of all of the people that are constantly sending me patients once a month. That worked. What worked is they did it for me, and I contributed an article. What worked is it was a good way to show off my Google reviews, and that was one of the main caveats of it. Those were the things that worked. What are the things that didn't work? Well, what Justin said, he said, Don, you probably shouldn't have taught. Like, I like to teach, and what he said is what people really want is they want to get to know you. And I've been learning this as I've been studying more about Dan Kennedy and copywriting, is that you can only teach so much stuff. Like, even with Podiatry Practice Mastery, even with this podcast, like, there's only so much stuff I can talk about, and then it gets to be repetitive. And so what people really want is they want a relationship with what they call the attractive character. And for Podiatry Practice Mastery, that's me. Like, I'm the attractive character. For Russell Brunson in ClickFunnels, he is it. For Dan Kennedy in Magnetic Marketing, he is it. And so we all have these attractive characters, and basically people want to know about their life and what's going on and other things, and then you weave in your different types of offers. That's why I chat what I'm learning, and then I offer the 30-day practice blueprint, or I'm offering something else here that I'm working on. And so he recommended in my newsletter I probably should have been talking about myself more, so people can get to know me, my family, my practice. Now, one of the reasons I didn't want to do that was basically there's 4 docs in the practice, and I didn't want to monopolize everything. I didn't want it to be just about me, but unfortunately someone's got to be that character. Someone, if it's not going to be you, it might be your office manager sending out the emails, but people like people, and they like to get to know about people. And I think that's why people, if the 30 people right now that are listening to me every day, it's because hopefully I have something of value in teaching, but much more what Dan Kennedy says, it's not just the education, it's the relationship with the person. Okay, so you may have done an interview with me, or you may be a friend, or things like that. That's why you're listening to me. But when you actually have a relationship with what they call the attractive character, you're going to let it slide a little bit, right? So if I mess up on one of my podcasts, you're going to keep listening. Or if I make it, when I offer something and I don't do such a good job, or the quality is bad, or it's raining outside, or other things like that, you're going to kind of put up with me. Whereas if it's just a pure, there's no relationship with it, like, that's it. And it's the same thing with patients, basically. If it's only the doctor-patient relationship, then they're not going to stick with you. And or if something goes wrong, there's not going to be much leeway. But if there is that friendship and something happens, there is going to be that leeway. So that's one thing he recommended. He also recommended that I understand. He recommended me reading a book by Sean Buck. It's about newsletters, so you can Google it on Amazon. His name is Buck. He has another newsletter company, and he talks about how newsletters aren't really for direct response, because that was my office manager said. Like, how can we tell we're getting anything from it? And that's what I guess he said. It's not really direct response, meaning you can't measure what you're getting from the newsletter as well. So basically, if I could do it over again, I might slim down my list I think I'm up at 300 people, and I would slim it down to probably, I think the minimum is 200, and only put it to people that actually like me and that I see referrals every single day, those doctors, and then follow up the doctors to see if they're actually getting it and see what they thought. Okay, that's one thing. What's my learning takeaway? Well, my learning takeaway from it is basically, I think the best value has really been how to use my Google reviews effectively. So in my Google reviews, I think like that's the powerhouse. Like that's why so many people come in. And so leveraging those on my website, leveraging those even on our video newsletters. And so when I do those video newsletters, maybe even picking a few of those and kind of posting those and saying some of the nice things that our patients have said, that's a real kind of cool way to bring a little bit more credibility to the practice. So in future months when I do my monthly newsletter, include a couple of those in there. I might even try, now I have the list of all these people, I may even try to slim it down and actually print something on our letterhead a little more personal to them, and maybe a 3-step email or letter sequence to them. So that's kind of some learning things that I've learned from it. I like to share kind of my mess ups. Another mess up is in my Podiatry Practice Mastery, like you guys, I wish you would, the 30 that are listening to me, I wish that you would tell me when something sucks, because I don't know, and that's like the best kind of kindness that people can have. And so what this Dr. Brandt, and I talked to him about marketing, and he has a cool way of doing YouTube videos. But he said, Don, when you go to the main page, you really can't get your 30-day practice blueprint too easy. You can get the tech list, and you can get your newsletter, but you can't get the blueprint. So if that's what I'm selling, or giving away, that's what I should offer. And so he recommended putting it as a main thing. So I did change that. I changed that offer to give that away more, because that's the main way I want people to opt in. So those are a couple of the mess ups that I've had recently. I just wanted to share those. And if you haven't done the 30-day practice blueprint, you can go to Podiatry Practice Mastery. There's a little, right there when I'm doing it now, there's a little blue box. You can just click it to get that, to expand your practice, and then put your email, and you can get it. You have to go through it for 30 days. I know that's a long time. But anyway, that's what's going on right now. Let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.